What the fuck are you talking about? Fat people are starving to death. Are you fucking stupid or what? No, I am not stupid. I am well researched. Have you ever noticed that the more weight you gain, the bigger and heavier you are, the fatter you become, the more hungry you are? Does that mean that you're a glutton? Does that mean that you're, have poor willpower, that you're failing? That it's all your fault, that it's personal accountability that has led to this obesity epidemic and health crisis that we're in? No, it doesn't. Turns out science has proven this. But it's not being accepted. And anyone, myself included, who's been obese knows that you're a lot fucking hungrier than them skinny motherfuckers that are running around. In fact, you get pissed because they can eat and they seemingly eat normal. But what you're not seeing is they don't eat as often as you do because they're not as hungry as you are. And there's a very potent biological system behind this. First of all, the more metabolically fucked up you are by eating the standard American diet, high in carbs and sugar, and I've gone over that over and over again, the more insulin resistant you become, the less energy's getting to your cells. And it's bypassing your cells and going into your fat cells. If you're fortunate enough to have enough storage on board or genetically gifted to make a lot of new fat cells, some people don't ever get to this point. Some people just get sick because the fat ends up in muscle tissues, liver, visceral fat. And long before they put on hundreds of pounds, they end up succumbing to type 2 diabetes, heart disease, one of these other diseases. They look fine, but they're just as sick as a 300 to 400 pound motherfucker in terms of metabolic health. Genetics plays a role in how much fat we hold and how many fat cells we can make. So really, an obese person is surviving the illness a lot better than somebody who does not put on the fat like that. Who it ends up in your arteries and in your visceral fat before it goes to your fat cells. But there's been research that has pointed to a finite amount of fat cell production based on your genetics that, limits your storage. And when you exceed that storage capacity, the fat ends up in your arteries, ends up in your visceral fat, ends up all over the place in your muscles and causes more insulin resistance. And ends up being chronic disease, metabolic syndrome. There's a host of hormones and, receptors and dopamine, and there's all kinds of shit involved in the process of energy balance. And when you fuck that up with sugar and carbs, you fuck that whole system up. If we ate properly, our bodies would not become obese. We would maintain a metabolic balance between the energy expenditure and the intake. naturally. We would be hungry when we needed to. We would be full when we don't need to eat. When you eat the standard American diet, heavy in processed foods and carbs and sugar, that system's completely dysfunctional. So what ends up happening is you become insulin resistant in your liver. That's usually where it starts, and that's the root of all the problem, because the liver is a key organ in taking the food you eat and putting it into your body and utilizing it. There are plenty of other organs, obviously. The pancreas creates the insulin and shit and so on and so forth. But, there's hormones that dictate how hungry you get. Your blood sugar levels dictate how hungry you get. Your brain is very sensitive to this energy balance system. And fucking it up is going to make you hungrier. So an obese person that is eating more isn't doing so because they're failing at willpower. They're doing so because they are biochemically being driven to eat more. If you're fucking hungry all the fucking time, you only got so much willpower before you're going to give the fuck in. So the treatment for obesity is rooted in solving the hunger problem and normalizing your metabolism. And what happens is, as we break this system over the course of our lives, we are essentially shunting all of that energy into fat, bypassing the cells that need them, and those cells are starving. And they're letting the brain know, hey, motherfucker, we haven't eaten. Meanwhile, you've got hundreds of pounds of fat on you. Hundreds of thousands of calories stored, waiting to be used. Yet your cells are going, hey, asshole, I haven't eaten, motherfucker. How about some food and shit? And your brain's saying, hey, all right, yeah, let's make this motherfucker hungry. And you overeat. You eat more energy because it's not getting where it has to go. And you store it every which way, and then once that storage is at capacity, it spills out, and you create all kinds of metabolic issues. Diabetes being one of the bigger ones that is plaguing our society. If you look at the pre-diabetic levels of people, 70% is a pretty fucking alarming number. We need to start treating the root cause instead of eat less, move more. Now, I want to read something here, and it's very pertinent to this. I just got this comment today from Tasneem Bassett, a message today on one of my earlier videos, the 5-day water fast, from Tasneem Bassett. And these messages, when I get these, and I do get them quite often, not as often. I get a lot more of success story messages and thankful messages, but this really does hit me in the feels, so to speak. I get a little bit, upset because I know that this person's not alone. I'm very obese. My back hurts, my knees, fuck. My whole body hurts. I'm 42 now. Same age as me, and desperate to get the weight off. I binge watch your videos, and it all makes sense. I'm ready to take my life back. I don't plan on telling people what I'm about to do because as fat as I am, they will try to talk me out of it. I don't understand why people would try and talk somebody out of doing a water fast if they're carrying around as much weight as you're telling me. And if they are, they don't know what they're talking about, and you shouldn't fucking listen to them. I do, however, recommend if there's medication involved that you don't do a long fast, because it looks like you're preparing to, without getting your blood levels checked and seeing how it will interact, with the medication. So be careful is the bottom line. Don't do it just based on me. Go out, get, help if there's medical problems. I did this with very minimal. I wasn't medicated when I started. I wasn't, my blood sugar, I monitored it myself early on, and was all in the normal range. Everything was fine. I didn't experience any symptoms when I fasted. I gradually worked my way up to longer fasts. I didn't just jump in with both feet. I did a lot of putting my toe in the water before jumping in. So that's what I recommend for you too. And you do the minimum amount of fasting for the maximum amount of results. So if you're getting results with shorter fasts, keep doing shorter fasts till those stop. Save the big guns for the big battles. So anyways, I don't plan on telling them what I'm about to do. They will talk me out of it. I realize I have plenty of body fat to live off of, and that's a true story. And that I won't die. And this is proven. They're, the world's longest fast, 382 days by, I keep forgetting his name. I know his last name's Blvd, but I can't forever remember that fucker's first name. But it's been done. Somebody morbidly obese fasted for 382 days, minimal supplementation, water only, and lost and kept off all the way, ended up in their 190s by the end of it, and I guess 2 or 3 years later, still in their 190s. So somebody will probably comment in the description of this video the name, because every time I forget the fucking name, somebody's like, oh yeah, this guy, Blvd, whatever his last name is. He's a Scottish guy. Anyways, I tried this fasting thing before up to 48 hours, which isn't really going to get you deep into ketosis. You need to go 72 hours, especially if you're a carb burner on a shitty diet. I slept like a rock, which is a relief because I've suffered over 10 years from extreme insomnia. Then I went back to my old habits. I am 330 pounds, 5'6", and actually quite pretty, but I am obese, and it sucks. The fact that I can't run, takes forever to get upstairs, can't walk far without my lower back screaming is scaring the shit out of me. And you can just, you eat less, move more, motherfuckers. You have no idea what this guy's going through. You want him to get into that treadmill and kill himself to try and burn off that extra energy. Look what they did on The Biggest Loser. This should put that into perspective. They were essentially torturing obese individuals on that show. And they regained all the weight afterwards because they tanked their metabolism in the process. And you wonder why. People are fucked up. And it's ridiculous. It's torture. Here you have somebody that's metabolically starving. You're forcing them to work harder, risking injury in the process, as they're carrying a hell of a lot more weight around on their joints, on their bones, on their muscles. And you want them to do all of this cardio and pumping weights. No, get rid of the weight first before you start building muscle and doing all of that shit. Make it so you can jog without pain before you hit the fuckmaster. Okay? Okay. Glad we had that little talk. Anyways, that wasn't targeted at you, Tanseem. That's targeted to the eat less, move more motherfuckers who are going to tell you to just eat a 500-calorie deficit and go to the gym. That'll solve all your problems. And there are people who do it. There are people who get all the way there doing that. But they have to keep doing that. And the health risks in the process are disturbing, and you're going to be hungry the entire way and miserable. And it's going to take extraordinary amounts of willpower to do it that way. The way I'm trying to advocate for, you won't be hungry. You won't feel deprived once you've cured your addictions. You'll enjoy the foods you're eating. You'll enjoy the mood stability, the mental clarity. And the weight loss will fall off at your weight starting out. You could easily lose 80 to 100 pounds almost effortlessly just by intermittent fasting and ketogenic diet. And it falls off. It's not till you get down to like my level, where I'm only about 5 to 10 pounds over my ideal body weight, that it gets a lot harder and you have to be more aggressive. So start out, I can't stress it enough, start out small with the fasting. If you're getting the needle moving with a couple of 24-hour fasts a week, followed by 16 and 8s, or daily 1 meal a day, while going keto. Keto is a big thing. If you can keto adapt, that will make this whole journey that much easier on you. If you're trying to do this with the standard American diet, you're in for a lot of suffering. I plan on water fasting, intermittent fasting, and doing keto to get this weight off. I use your vid, Scott, for motivation. And a lot of people seem to be doing that. It's why I'm able to talk about the same shit over and over again, and people seem to like it. It keeps you going. And I'll keep doing it because I like that I'm helping people on their journey. Your videos are insightful and informative. I'm using you as my mentor. Thanks. So allow me to do some mentoring here for those of you. Hunger is the often forgotten thing. Eat less, move more isn't going to tell you anything about hunger, are they? Why? Because you're going to be hungry. And the more metabolically fucked you are, the more insulin resistance you have, the more diabetic you are, the more fucked up you are, the more hungry you are, because your cells are not getting the fucking energy that they need. So I want to bring your attention to one of the pieces of research that inspired me to do this particular video, and that's David Ludwig, who I've become more and more fascinated with lately. He's really showing me what, he's laying it out. And I know he's a colleague of Dr. Lustig, if I remember right. I might be wrong about that. I haven't really checked up on that. But it's the hormonal hypothesis for obesity that he is preaching in this 1 hour long video. I recommend, if you are morbidly obese and you are looking to really figure out how to lose weight and keep it off, that you watch and try and understand this video. Take note of the references he uses. He is going over several studies. They're his interpretations of those studies, but those studies do exist, and you need to look at them personally in addition to them. And I do that to kind of vet some of the people that I watch, and if I find that their interpretation is similar to my interpretation of the study, and they're a lot smarter than me in some cases, I tend to start to trust them a little bit more with how the talks that they give and the books that they write and so on and so forth. So it's important to do that whenever you are following somebody. But I found his explanation of the hormonal hypothesis for obesity to be accurate. And it certainly beats the dog shit of all the data for the calories in, calories out model of obesity, the law of thermodynamics. Because the law of thermodynamics does not take into account the hormonal system, the hunger fact. Where in, calories out is the hunger hormone issue addressed? And anyone who's done a low-calorie restricted diet, counting calories, eating shit, or trying to eat healthy, either way, hungry all the time. Hunger, hunger, hunger. And if you're busting your ass in the gym on top of that, even more hunger. And hunger is what leads to a 98% fail rate for eat less, move more. And it's not because of willpower. It's not because you can't control yourself. It's because your hormones are driving you to eat. You go from being obese and starving when you do eat less, move more, to being thinner and starving. But the starving is pretty fucking steady. Your cells aren't getting what they need. Your baseline metabolism will drop by anywhere from 400 to 600 calories, according to this. I think I stick with the 500 being the max, your body can slow down. But there's another factor. Your muscles become more efficient in the process. So any exercise you're doing, in addition to that 500 BMR loss, you're not burning as much when you're exercising either, because your muscles are becoming more efficient and you don't feel good. You're not going to feel well. during this process. And I know when I was obese and trying to exercise, I didn't get this, oh, this is great, I love this. No, I felt a little bit of the adrenaline rush, but I was not motivated to be pounding the fuckmaster all the time. It just wasn't in my list of shit I wanted to do. So check this video out. The link will be in the description. Which comes first, overeating or obesity? For the too long didn't watch crowd, obesity comes from the hormonal imbalance caused by the shitty food you eat. And he really doesn't get, I don't think he gets to that point, but that's what the cause is. We're dysregulating our energy balance system. And he does go over the set point and what to do to gradually lower it. And that's what I have been doing. And I can tell you that the closer you get to the healthy weight that you want to be, the more you're going to be fighting your metabolic system, your energy balance system, to lower that set point. And you can't do it with cheat days and all of that. You need to fix all the damage. And if you're having high carb, shitty food cheat days, you're not addressing your fatty liver issues. You're not addressing the problem of high insulin. You're not addressing the insulin resistance. If you're a diabetic, you already know that when you do that, your blood sugar is going to shoot sky high. Your insulin's not going to be able to keep up, putting you in a weak recovery just to get your blood sugar levels back to a normal baseline. But it does work over time. And I can promise you, if you fat adapt during this period, during the period of weight loss that you are trying to accomplish, you won't experience the hunger. That hunger will go away and make it easier to fast and to lose the weight. It might even make it hard to rebound your metabolism. I will give you that, because you're not going to be consuming lots of calories at first, so your metabolism's going to suck, and you might be hungry because of that. You might overeat when you first start out on the ketogenic diet. But as that normalizes, as you get access to the hundreds of thousands of calories of body fat that you are carrying around, your metabolism will normalize. You'll burn the same. And he goes over that in his speech. He goes over the study that they checked that. They checked how much energy you're burning at rest in 3 groups of people. They compared 3 diets. So I can't emphasize enough, if you got some spare time, watch that fucking video. I am watching it more than once. Because I want that shit ingrained in here. I want to know how my body works. And that is the key to obesity getting defeated. Not pounding the fuckmaster and Planet Fitness trying not to set off the motherfucking lunk alarm. Not sitting there with MyFitnessPal counting all your fucking calories to make sure you don't go over a certain amount. Those are not the keys to weight loss. The key to losing weight is knowing how your body works. Biochemically, metabolically speaking. And knowing about the dopamine system, the nucleus accumbens in your fucking brain, which, by the way, they did a study, and I found it interesting in that speech, where they gave people a sugary milkshake, and 5 hours later, all of them, their nucleus accumbens lit up. They were scanning them. You know what that says? That's reward seeking. Go and get another one of them motherfuckers. Congratulations to the sugar and carb addiction, because that's exactly what that's doing. It's sending you to go and seek those foods out, the craving. And if you want to crave and be hungry, eating sugar and carbs is the way to go. If you love being hungry and starving and then getting that fucking 20 minutes of real satisfaction from that meal, maybe with an hour of not being hungry after that, that's fine. If that's how you want to live your life. I like going most of the day without being hungry. Sometimes I don't even eat because I'm hungry. I eat because I'm concerned I'm not getting enough calories on my eat days. And you know what? If your metabolism's working properly, he goes over this in the video too, that you will, and I've said this in past videos, your metabolism on a ketogenic diet, if you overeat, will ramp up a certain amount. There's a cap, if you're overeating 4,000 or 5,000 calories, but there's studies that have done this with a regular diet, and your metabolism does work up, but you can easily outpace that with the standard American high carb, high sugar diet. So the truth of the matter is, when you see somebody obese running around out there, you may see them eating a lot. You may see them staring at food. They may be very food-centered and food-based. But you got to understand there's a powerful biochemical drive behind that because they are starving. Their cells are starving. Their fat cells are well fed. The muscles, the brain, everything else isn't getting the energy it needs. And that's why they keep eating despite having hundreds upon hundreds of thousands of calories on board. And the only way to reverse that without a lot of suffering and pain is to go ketogenic and intermittent fast. And if you do those two things over a long period of time, gradually starting out and working your way up to losing all of your weight, then you will lose the weight and keep it off. I've gone from 255 to 188. I am not hungry. I do not go to the gym. I don't take supplements. I don't do any of the shit they tell you to do, and here I am after 3 years with the weight loss being maintained. And every time I tried to go back to being the standard American diet eating motherfucker, that started to go away. And I was vigilant, so I didn't let it get out of control. I didn't regain 20, 30 pounds. I knew the weight gain was happening. I knew it was happening quickly. So if I did fall off the rails, I was very vigilant to get back on that fucking horse so that I didn't go all the way back to my start point and have to do this shit all over again. I'm 42 years old. The time for fucking off is over. Because if I don't take care of my health now, my health span is going to be miserable for the next 20 to 30 years. If I live that long. There's other things that can kill us. Bottom line, you should feel sympathy for someone struggling with weight because they're also struggling with unquenched hunger despite the food that they're eating. And you may think it counterintuitive to tell somebody who's starving to fast. But if you want to normalize that energy balance system so that they start getting access to the food that they're already carrying on their body, then fasting and keto is what they need to do. Now, whether or not you stay keto your whole life, there's some evidence in this that I've kind of heard for the first time, in that your metabolic repairs could give you hope, if you don't want to remain keto forever, of retaining the metabolic stability, at least for a time, when you get to your goal. Supposedly, as in the longer you remain on a ketogenic diet as a fat-adapted individual, the more repaired your hormones get, so that when you do go off the rails again, you're not going to be the same level of fucked up that you were when you started. You aren't going to be starving and ravenously hungry all the time. Now, if you continue eating that shit, then yeah, you're going to go right back to the beginning. And I can tell you it's going to take years to get to that point to where maybe you can tolerate them shitty foods occasionally without completely derailing yourself metabolically. But I would advise not even going down that road, because that's also the road to addiction. That's that nucleus accumbens lighting up like a motherfucking beacon saying, hey, more sugar to me, motherfucker. And then you go right back to the way you were. Because you cannot eat the standard American diet and fix your metabolism. It's not possible. Anytime you're eating that shit, you are damaging yourself metabolically, and you will eventually starve your cells while feeding your fat cells. And you'll be hungry the whole time, the entire time. And if you're doing eat less, move more, you're still going to be hungry the entire time, if not more hungry than you were when you started out. But you will be hungry. And I don't want to be hungry. And I don't know about you, I'm happy being fully satisfied and enjoying the foods that I'm eating. Yes, I missed some of those foods, but the longer I have gone without eating that shit, the less I miss it. The more in tune I've become with the ketogenic diet. And just since November, when I fell off the horse and I got back on the horse, I'm halfway through January and I'm still on the horse and not thinking, not even remotely trying to get off the horse. I'm curious what a carb day would do to me as far into the ketosis as I'm getting. And I know I'm in ketosis. I just had a piss test the other day. Whenever I go to my buddies, I steal one of his little ketone things. By the way, if you didn't know that, I've been stealing those from you. But anyways, I usually tell them. I forgot to tell them last time I did it. But I'm in moderate, piss and moderate ketones, which is about what should be expected given my level of fat adaptation. I anticipate going to light at some point, hopefully, where I'm that fat adapted, where I'm using them efficiently and not pissing them out. And eating the same foods that I tend to eat the same shit all the time. It'll be easy to gauge that I'm still in ketosis, even if the urine strips aren't as accurate. So, bottom line, I can't stress it enough. You know, some of you, when you message me these things, it does break my heart. Because I know people personally that have struggled with this. I know someone who's struggling with it as we speak. One of my best friend has decided to go keto and really give it a go. And I'm going to interview him about it. Because he's tried a couple times and didn't make it. Didn't give it his full effort. His wife has, and is going strong and is a success story at this point. Short term. But I think she could go all the way. Because she is seen the difference, the contrast between being the sugar burner and being the carb burner. But as always, remember, I'm not a fucking expert. I'm just a fucking asshole. Please like and subscribe for more motherfucking shit. And I will shit all over the fucking internet. If we can make a good dent in this obesity, diabetes, and heart disease epidemics. And cancer, too. I keep leaving that down at the bottom of the rung because the science is ongoing. I'd like to know just how much a ketogenic diet and fasting has an impact on cancer. And I'm waiting for those studies. And it's going to be interesting with the Warburg effect and all of those other scientific things that are already out there that just need more supporting data. And those are going. It's happening. People are testing keto with standard of care on cancer, and I am looking forward to long-term studies of that. But we'll have to wait to hear the verdict on that. But given what I know about cancer metabolism and what I know about our metabolism, I would strongly advise anybody that is worried about cancer or has cancer to do strict ketogenic dieting and intermittent fasting mixed in with it to help the standard treatments at killing the cancer cells, because you're starving them at that point too. Also, in the description you can find a link to a virtual tip jar. If you found this video helpful, throw me a few bucks there to help me make more videos, spend more time making videos. If you would like something in return for your donation, there's also podcasts available for sale at $2 a download for 2 hours of content-ish. The first one was a little shorter than that, but I'm going to shoot for more than 2 hours on all future podcasts. So you can find those in the description as well. Check out my website, ScottTheTruckDriver.com. Link is also in the description. For a daily, Monday through Friday, I write a little blog on whatever I'm currently doing. And it's some other shit gets mixed in with thoughts and on topics, minimalism, stuff like that. I do want to tackle other lifestyle problems in addition to health and weight loss. And this year is going to be a year where I really try and hone in on being more minimalist and improving my time management and my lifestyle. Because right now I'm a little shitty in that department, and I think I need to work on it more. And I want to help others by showing them the things I'm doing to try and fix my shit. Plus, you guys hold me accountable for all of this. That's part of this channel, is being accountable to stay on the horse. And sometimes that might be just what you need. And I'm here to help you with that. To help the accountability. You might not want to have to come back to me in a week and say, fuck. Fell off the fucking horse again. Regained 20 pounds. And if you don't have to do that, you feel better. It's nice to have somebody to bounce this stuff off of. I've done this shit on my own for a long time. I didn't have accountability partners. A lot of people thought I was fucking nuts when I first started out. They looked at me like I was just completely off out of my fucking mind. And you know what made them back off? When I started putting on my first medium t-shirt. And I went out and they're like, oh my God, you lost a lot of weight and shit. Now I don't hear shit about fasting. Now they're just like, when I talk to people about it, it's like, I just can't do that. I can't do that. Well, why not? I did it. I do it regularly. I do it all the fucking time. It's a part of my life. And I like it. I enjoy my fasts. So there is hope. You can repair this broken system if you are obese. Start today. Research the ketogenic diet. Research what kind of foods you can and can't eat on a ketogenic diet. And even if you don't want to start fasting, at the very least, get the carbs and sugar. Get the poison out. And you will begin your weight loss journey. And you don't have to go to the gym to do it. Look at that. You can do this sitting in a fucking chair, much like this one. I have lost so much weight sitting in this chair and in the chair in the truck that I can't even fucking keep up. Who knew you could lose weight, normalize hunger by sitting in a fucking chair? Now, you're not going to build muscle and physique sitting in a chair. If you want to build big bulging muscles under that loose skin that you're eventually going to have, go to the gym. But I'm here to tell you, lose the weight first. Then worry about building muscle. All right? Lose the fat. Preserve the muscle you got the best you can. A little bit of light working out's all you need for that. And I contend that if you do anything physical in your life, you're getting enough exercise to maintain your current muscles. If you're laying in bed and sitting on a couch all the time, you might want to think about doing a little bit of lifting of something. But you don't need to go to the gym to do that. Just carry shit. Volunteer to help somebody move. There's other ways of getting exercise without paying for it. Turns out, there's plenty of shit that needs to be carried in the world. Get a part-time job at UPS throwing boxes on trucks. I guarantee you get all the exercise you need, and they'll pay you for it. That's about it for today. I didn't even plan on making this video. That letter really inspired me, and so did the video from Dr. Ludwig. I just had to get this done today. And thanks to my new setup, I'm able to sit down on a moment's notice and talk to the camera and get this shit filmed. Editing is a whole other thing. It's going to be a while between the time I record this and the time you get to watch it, it's going to be a period of time that passes. But this video might even be out as a third video this week, which if I pull that off, given how busy I'm going to be, that'll be amazing. So, have a nice motherfucking day. And shit. more shit. And all kinds of shit. All kinds. And shit. More shit. Fucking shit. God damn it. Quit picking on obese people, by the way. Quit making them go to the fucking gym.